What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverse Evolve video. Alright soldiers, in this video we're going to be talking about the English conference review of all the stuff that they talked about for Shadowverse Evolve. Now before we get into it, I do want to let everybody know that the Sunday webcam locals is actually happening today as of posting this video. So if you're interested in playing in a webcam match on the featured channel, then feel free to join in the Discord and sign up. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our first reveal here, and we have the Showdown deck demo session. So it looked like with the new demo decks that they're going to be having, they're going to have a demo sessions with it. And I do kind of agree with Dean on how these demo decks aren't kind of helpful for new players, because the decks that are going to be coming out as of this set releasing, it's not going to really be up to par with the levels of things. Now, of course, in terms of like learning the game, they're pretty good decks, I guess, you know, but they're still kind of like intricate. So there's the problem there too. So, you know, is it really better to be printing more cards for these more advanced decks? Those are questions that I kind of ask myself. Although there are some Showdown deck duel tournaments after you do the demo session, so do look out for those in the Bushy Navi app just in case you're able to sign up for those. And I mean, hey, they have some pretty good prizing, especially if you're new to Shadowverse Evolve, you know, a good deck box and then some sleeves and then even a champion evolution point if you guys end up winning. All right, so we're going to be switching gears into set 18. So as of July 24th, set 18 is going to be legal. We're going to have our nice Shadowverse Evolve English versions of the cards, and we're going to have our release tournaments. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about said release tournaments and the things that you're going to be needing for release tournaments. All right, so it looks like they're cracking down on the rules for the release tournaments, making on the fact that you need to have at least 9 Neo Metropolis cards in your set 18 release tournament decks. So it looks like there's going to be an extra rule there. And that does make me wonder that if the set 18 decks aren't going to be as strong as the set 17 decks, because there were some times where some sets came out and then the set before's decks were just a lot better. So I'm wondering if that's going to be the case for set 18. And the other cool thing about going to these release tournaments is the prizing, of course. Of course, you're going to get a promo pack, and then if you win the entire thing, you're going to get an alternative promo. Alrighty, and then transitioning from the release tournaments, it looks like they're going to be doing something with sealed glory finders. So kind of like, not like a draft, but it is kind of like a sealed format for glory finder. So you're going to opening X amount of packs, and then you're making your own glory finder deck in that pod. And then I guess, you know, you just keep the cards and whatnot. But I think this is something cool, just in case if they want to do reprints of some sort, like, you know, maybe printing promos of like extra stuff for maybe glory finder, or even including more glory finder cards for that format to make that format even more fun. But yeah, that's just my educated wish, of course, you know, nothing too crazy there. So, you know, be prepared for that when set 18 rolls around though. All right, but let's talk about the art of set 18 here. So we're going to have 10 copies of these unique serial cards. So this is going to be a nice run for set 18. Now, I will say that the card all the way on the right, the evolution point, looks absolutely stunning. And I know that's probably going to be a heavy sought after card because that card looks absolutely amazing. But yeah, when you do open your set 18 boxes, do be on the lookout for these serial cards. All right, so let's talk about the winner for the special vote campaign from last time, and we have Vania. Now, Sarah almost had it. Almost had it. You know, I had my personal gripes. Rune was almost there, and then all the Abysscraft users just started voting after they saw that Sarah was in the lead. So Vania finally has the art coming out for set 18. And then you're also probably able to pre-order these cards, or, you know, the special arts for all the Vanias here. And I'm not gonna lie, the playmat looks very good with all the versions of Vania up there. So if you're a big Abysscraft / Vampire / Vania fan, this is definitely the pickup for you. But of course, with the closing of the last special card vote campaign, we're going to have another one with the Shadowverse Worlds Beyond cards. So, not gonna lie, might be switching up when it comes to Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, because I do still love Rune, don't get me wrong, I love the mechanics and everything, but the Force cards look absolutely amazing in that game. Alright, and I'm looking here on the website, so it looks like it's gonna be the 7 heirs of the Omens, so it looks like it's the next generation of Omens from our last ones. Alright, so moving forward from our set 18 stuff, in the very next set we're going to have our crossover set for Princess Connect Redive, and that seems like it's going to be pretty interesting. I don't know anything about Princess Connect, so probably when August rolls around, which, you know, is around my birthday of course, I'll seem to be doing some research on this new series. But of course, I'm still holding my fingers close for us to get our Grand Blue Fantasy collab set. All right, so moving on into the more competitive side of Shadowverse Evolve, here we have our Grand Showdown locations for 2026 spring. Now I'm hoping that these events will be streamed or something so we're able to really watch them, because I did really enjoy watching it last time it was streamed. And you already know the deal with Grand Showdown, that they're going to have amazing participation prizing with a playmat, a special art promo, and then you get a storage box as well. So I think this is all worth going to Grand Showdown. And then of course, if you get into top 16, you get an Anea, which is probably going to be an updated one, I believe, since this is a 2-cost 1/1. So hopefully whatever set that Anea is going to belong to, it's going to look beautiful in your binder, or even if your deck, if you're going to be rocking it like that. All right, so before we close out here, I did want to talk about the Valentine's Duo tournaments here. So the champions mat for Lashena and Ralmia looks absolutely amazing. So if you're going to be in the market for that, I know that's going to be an absolutely beautiful card. So, you know, be prepared to try and win that for the Valentine's Day Duos tournament. And honestly, if they're going to be giving 2 of them out per person or per champion, there's probably going to be a lot circulating out there. And also, of course, you get the Fluffy Angel participation alternative promo card, which has the amazing border, which I'm very glad that we have for the SLs now, which looks absolutely amazing. Already in here, we have our upcoming events and releases schedule here. So of course, we're already in February, so we already know Showdown Challenge 7 is going to be throughout all February, with our Lunar New Year shop tournaments, with our Valentine's Duo tournaments. And then in March, we have the Showdown decks with set 16 coming out. Then we have the Showdown deck trials, and then the New World release tournaments. All right, but I really am liking how they have the layout here for the event. So now we can actually keep up with what we're talking about. Looks like, you know, with the confusion of the combined sets, we really didn't have the space to really do all that because we were just catching up with sets. But now, keeping on track, we're going to be moving on into April and May with Idolmaster and Convergent Destinies. And then moving on into set 18, we'll have the Neo Metropolis in July. And then right after that, we will be having the Princess Connect Dive. But yeah, soldiers, are you interested in how the events are going to be playing out for Shadowverse Evolve right now? So it looks like we're going to be getting kind of a month break if you don't want to be interested in kind of like the side sets. So of course we'll have 16 coming out, and then if you're interested in Idolmaster, if you invested in Idolmaster last time, then you can go ahead and get the pickups for this upcoming in April. And then if you really want to keep with the main sets, you'll be back in May. And then right after that, you'll have another month which you can focus on set 18 right after that. But alright, soldiers, I wanted to just talk to you all about everything that they talked about in the winter conference for Shadowverse Evolve. I just want everyone to be on the same page, and if anyone has any questions, concerns, drop a comment down below and I will try my best to get to all of you. I'm sorry I haven't been responding to the comments recently. I've just been quite busy doing a whole lot of life stuff, so I'll try my best to get to it if you guys have any questions. But alright, soldiers, make sure you are safe in whatever you do tonight and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Yeah. TRINN. Just to get you away. What I got to do, what I got to do.